Welcome back to the Scatterpot podcast. We live in a society.
We do live in this society.
That's your spoiler. That's it.
Yeah, that's a spoiler. No. So this is a weird episode of the podcast.
Very, very, very.
I mean, last week's was weirder than this, but this is a special
last
episode.
week doesn't exist.
What last week episode?
Exactly.
No,
This is 30.
This is episode 30. No, this is episode 32.
And a half.
No, this is episode 30.
2.
It's the sequel to episode 30. No, but this episode's special because we are recording this at 10:50, almost 11 o'clock at night.
Death approaches me very quickly.
Death approaches. Death approaches. On Friday.
I am not a bard. I cannot seduce death. This is the end.
This is the end. So we just saw Joker, and we're gonna talk about it for a little bit non-spoilery, our basic thoughts. But then we're gonna definitely get into some spoilers, and I will hopefully tell you what time the spoilers will be over.
If not, y'all are nerds for not watching it.
Yeah, I was about to say this is a pretty big movie.
Yeah,
everyone's going to
it's
see
like Star Wars.
No, everyone who's going to see this movie is going to see it this weekend.
Exactly.
And I bet all of our 2 listeners are
3, Kanan.
3. Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot. Does your mom still listen to the podcast?
Not really.
What?
No, we lost.
We
her.
lost her?
Not entertaining enough, she said.
Dang it. We lost the loyal. No, yeah. So, let's just...
Oh, gosh.
I'm not sure why you said, oh gosh, but... So, my chair is
I
still...
almost fell backwards.
I almost fell sideways.
So right now, we need to find a budget.
So, my chair is still broken from last week's, and I've been precariously balancing on it for, like... Oh,
How long can Kanan balance?
how long can Kanan balance before he gets penetrated?
I am not taking him to the hospital.
What?
He's going to have to call 911.
911. Serious emergency.
butthole!
No. Show up without the chair, but the thing sticking at me,
Yeah.
and I roll. No,
Yeah.
I roll into the hospital.
As you can see, this is a pretty dire situation.
It's like what seems to be the issue, honey. It's like
My body modification kind of failed.
just stand up and just sticking out. So Joker.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Kanan, what would you rate it? 1 out of 10?
I don't think I'm ready for that.
No, can't hear the answer. That's the question that was asked. Stop trying to smoke it like Joker. He smoked a lot.
He did smoke
Like a lot. Like he was smoking every other scene.
Pretty much.
It's
Heck,
insane.
he walked out on TV smoking.
Yeah, like I guess it was during a time where smoking was like fine,
I mean, he was allowed to smoke in a hospital.
which was really funny. I thought.
Well, but you also remember back then in the day, the doctors were like, "Oh, are you dying? Here's a
Yeah.
cigarette." And
Oh,
doctor, this is great. And all of a sudden, they're like, "Holy crap! What's this lung cancer people keep getting?"
yeah. What is this stuff, man?
Dude, I predict it's gonna be the same thing with like Juuls and vaping.
Stuff's already going on.
Well,
with that.
but you know, like it's gonna be like, oh, all those people who are having issues that vape and Juul are people who are past smokers. But once you have a generation of people who just vape and Juul, it's gonna be like, oh my gosh, this body's horrible. And like I love it that they're like, there is no doctor's studies saying that it's bad for you. And I'm like, yeah, it's been around for like
Yeah, it's been
a couple
long.
years. It's like, do you know smoking was like medicinal back in the day?
Apparently. Yeah.
But like, so yeah, overall I enjoyed the movie a lot. I'd probably give it an. I'm not gonna give it a 10 out of 10. No. I'll give it a 9. If I have to give it an even number, I'll give it a 9. If I could give it a decimal, 8.5. That's my rating. I really enjoyed this movie, and it had me thinking, and I really enjoyed all of it.
It was pretty good.
What's the humor?
Yeah, I mean, I guess a 9 out of 10 would be. I mean, it wasn't perfect per se, because there's the things that we can get into later
Yeah,
that didn't
so
not sense, but like
let's
loopholes.
I'm gonna say nay to the loopholes because I think you can ask. Well, you could ask my sister if she was up here, but you can ask her after the fact. I whispered something to her in the beginning of sort of towards the beginning of the movie.
My baby heart.
And
That's what you said.
And like the thing is that it was sort of a thought I was having, and my thought was, at least in my mind, the way I saw and thought of the movie, it made sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Everything made sense for the most part. The ending weird, but
right.
But like one thing I will say to anyone who wants to see Joker and who has not seen it yet, I don't know why you're watching this now, but it's not what you think for the most part. I knew what I was getting into beforehand.
I knew.
Well, but the thing is that I think a lot of people were expecting like more of the last couple minutes throughout the whole movie. If that makes sense.
I know what you're just saying.
Yeah.
Me, I didn't. I thought, or I kind of knew he would show him.
This is a character story. This is a story about a character.
Story.
Well, not even an origin story. But
No,
like a character, like it's a character study. It's like you are following this one guy.
Yeah.
And his journey into in this future thing. So as you can both tell, we both loved the movie. We both like it a lot. What did you think of Joaquin Phoenix's performance as the Joker?
He did pretty good, but they need to stop that Hollywood thing with dehydrating the people. I think that's ridiculous. To get that body type.
Well, yeah. But the thing is that I think
it's not healthy.
It is not healthy, but I feel like most of the actors know what they're getting into.
Oh, they know what they're signing up for.
Yeah, but the thing is that this isn't even the worst case of it. Have you seen The Machinist starring Christian Bale?
No.
The Machinist. Well, Christian Bale. First off, keep in mind, Christian Bale, old Batman, like Dark Knight Batman. Yeah. So he's this really jacked dude. In The Machinist, he was portrayed literally like this big around. Like he was scary thin. Mm-hmm. And this was between Dark Knight movies. So he was bulked up and he had to lose all of it. Then he had to bulk up again. And then he did Vice last year, which he had to be Dick Cheney, and he was fat in that movie. It's funny. Doctors have said, like, Christian Bale, your body is destroyed. Yeah. Your body is just not meant to do this. And like, I feel like that's more on the actor side and less of Hollywood side. Because Joker didn't have to be super skinny like that, but it works very well because he is.
Yeah, but that could be put back to the writers.
But the writers don't... I mean, it's... I feel like... I'm going to put it more on the actor's side. Because I feel like it's more of how far the actors are willing to go.
Okay.
Now, fun fact, speaking of horrible things that are in this movie... Did you hear about the controversy of the subway scene when they filmed that?
No.
There were so many people pissed off because all those extras and stuff, it was hot. They were all crammed in that subway car, and they were in there for like 10 hours.
Which one? Which scene? There's a bunch of scenes in the subway.
The climactic scene in the subway.
And there for 10 hours? That
like,
sucks.
I don't quote me on that, but it was a long time.
That sucks.
And they weren't getting properly paid, and some people weren't getting properly hydrated.
Right.
Because they had to just keep on shooting the scene. And, like, that scene is very claustrophobic.
Oh, yeah. It's... Yeah.
And they said it was hot because there was all these studio lights.
And then you got the body heat.
And the body heat. Yep. And you're in a metal tube. So there was, like, a whole bunch of controversy about that because people were just, like, pissed. All the extras were like,
yeah,
this isn't worth it.
Yeah.
So now we're officially going to go into spoiler territory, like proper spoiler territory.
Spoiler warning.
We will be done with spoilers at
36 minutes and 14 seconds.
Either I put the time in after the fact, or I looked really stupid.
There's just a deafening silence for you.
It probably is just like deafening silence, and just okay. But
all right, let's go.
Okay, so what are your loopholes you think you found?
So I thought about it, and then like at the same time, I'm not 100% sure. So he is mentally ill.
Yes.
because of the scene showing the woman not actually being there. That's like a visual thing.
Well, so the thing is that from the very beginning, this is what
Right.
my mind thought. So, with the idea of you have to
The gestures.
yeah, I know my big gestures. So like the whole movie, you're following this insane person.
Correct.
I've seen A Beautiful Mind starring Russell Crowe, and you find out the whole movie with Russell Crowe, he has schizophrenia.
Correct.
In A Beautiful Mind, and like basically the whole story, he's a brilliant mathematician, and he has this whole thing where he keeps on, since he's a schizophrenic, he sees people that aren't there, and he
Correct.
believes people that aren't there.
Correct.
So the whole movie, I'm thinking of it, we're following a mentally insane person.
Correct.
Don't believe any of the things that are being said. Like anything we see, do not believe it unless it's like confirmed by someone outside of like his little bubble.
Right.
So what I pictured in the beginning, and this is what I told myself in the beginning as it like started, anything good happening to him is fake.
Right.
In the beginning. Right. Like of course him with the Murray show is fake. Like
yeah,
that
you
whole
could tell
thing.
that was fake.
Yeah, that was fake. His whole relationship with the neighbor girl, that was fake. And I that's what I whispered to Kinsley. I said, like, he's not really dating her. And he's like, and Kinsley said, how do you know? It's like, because think about it. A man, you do not know his name. You're in the elevator with him. You try to make light conversation with him. He doesn't respond. All he does is pretends to shoot himself and stays in the hallway for a long time. And then the next time you see him, and so from Arthur's perspective, she comes over like, "Oh, hey, Arthur," and like pretends like they're chummy. And as soon as she said, "Oh, hey, Arthur," I'm like, she never found out his name properly.
Mm-hmm.
And like later in the movie, there's a scene where she's like, "You're Arthur, right? That lives down the street." When like it starts to unravel for him.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I just didn't believe anything good that happened to him.
Okay.
And that was how I kind of, and it kind of worked for the most part.
Right.
Like and then when I didn't think his mom was crazy, I thought she was maybe like normal until he read the letter. As soon as he read that letter saying that he was Thomas Wayne's kid, I'm like, mother's crazy. Cool. I said either the letter's fake or his mother's crazy, and then she's like, I loved him. I'm like, cool, she's crazy. And then also think about this. Joker in this movie is supposed to be like 30s, like mid 30s.
Yeah.
He looks way older than that. And the only reason I assume he's going to be 30s is we know he was adopted when his mother worked for the Waynes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's stated multiple times that she worked for the Waynes about 30 plus years ago. Like 30-ish years ago.
Right.
So like we can assume that, let's say he was adopted at 4, then like he's like 34 years old or something like that. Unless he was adopted at 10 or something like, dude, but like he does not look good for his age.
Right.
And then also like everything good that every time someone was like had a genuine good conversation with him, I didn't believe it. Like when what was the other clown worker? The one that he tried to buy the gun from.
I don't know.
The one that tried to give him the gun in his mind, but then it's later said that he tried to buy the gun off him or something like that.
Yeah.
I didn't believe that was real because that seemed too like anything that felt good for him. I'm like, that's not real. And it worked. And then the whole ending bit, I was like, is this real? Like, it's. What I don't know if you thought like I did during this, but what were your thoughts, like as it went on?
Just in the beginning, you saw him as a clown,
Mm-hmm.
and then basically they showed you the society was terrible
Yes.
by showing you him getting beat up, and then they go on to show his deepening insanity
Mm-hmm.
with him like stuff bad happening to him. You could kind of tell like he was.
The whole story revolves around him breaking, basically.
Yes.
Which is true to the Joker story. The Joker story is he's just a semi-normal guy, except this time he is like something's wrong with him.
Right.
But in the comics, according to Killing Joke, he's a normal guy who just had a really bad day and just snapped.
Right.
But this one, they're saying he's crazy, and then, like, it's weird. Part of me wants to believe he shouldn't be as influential as he is at the end. Like, if that makes sense.
Well, the thing is with that, is that goes back to the politics in our day right now.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be supposed to be a political movie in terms of mental health.
It's not even really too political.
Well, that's the thing
because
I was trying to get to.
Yeah, like the thing is that honestly the only political thing they kept on, I hate to use it like this, but beating us in the head with was class dispute of upper and lower class.
Yeah.
Because that was something that I realized but it's weird because I was trying to think, I'm like, if Joker in this movie didn't exist, would the events of the movie still happen? Technically not, because you got to realize I believe he murdered the subway people in the beginning, towards the beginning. Yeah. He definitely did that.
It was all over the news.
Yeah, I know. So he did murder those people, and because he was dressed as a clown, Thomas Wayne calls him a clown, which begins the clown revolution. The revolution of everyone believing clowns is a slang term for the lower class. And then, you read the newspapers that are, in the backgrounds and stuff like that. It talks about this raging class war that's building up. And part of me doesn't want to think that. Part of me really wished that Joker himself had nothing to do with the events of the movie. If, he was just insane and he thought it was all about him.
So what would the movie be about then?
The movie's still about him.
But the question...
here's the thing. I'm saying the class war still happens.
Correct.
And, what I was saying, I saw it shift. Basically, what I'm saying is that the movie happens still. Almost the exact same, except it does not revolve around him. Because, he sort of becomes, the figurehead of this movement.
Right. All right.
I'm saying, he thinks he's in charge of it. He thinks he's doing all this. But it really is just happening around him. If that makes sense.
So you're saying... all the events are true up until the point he's standing on the car.
No. I'm saying...
Okay. At what point does, it cut off to him being crazy?
I'm saying it cuts off to him being... let's say this.
Yeah, what?
Let's say he kills people in the subway.
At the subway, right? That's where it stops?
But here's the thing. But he's not dressed as a clown. I wish... in my mind, what it would have been an interesting take for the movie is if this clown revolution ended up happening and him as Arthur Fleck thinks he's the reason it's all happening, and he believes he's this figurehead, and he sort of rises to power in a sense because of his confidence that he believes he's doing this, when in reality everything's just happening around him. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, because you're saying, okay,
instead of him knocking over the first domino,
right,
he's just surrounded by the dominoes and he thinks he knocked it over or something like that.
So you're saying he does kill the people in the subway.
I'm saying he does kill the people in the subway, but that did not. I'm saying let's say, for example, the clown revolution was happening before he kills the people in the subway or something like that, and he only thinks those clown revolution people are following him because he killed the people. If that makes...
I know what you're saying.
I would really like it if they did a take where just he is a spectator, but he believes he is the kingpin.
The only reason I have to disagree...
Because that would play into the whole medical insanity bit of it.
The only reason I have to disagree is, like you said, the term clown came from...
I know. That's the thing.
All this stuff.
That's why I wished the movie was like that.
So just an alternative take.
That, if in my idea, that's what I would have wanted.
Right.
It to be. And and now, interesting thought I had.
Oh, let me ask you this. The people he killed on the subway, do you think that was legal in the terms of self-defense, except for maybe that last guy he shot crawling up the stairs?
No.
You don't think that was self-defense?
No. They didn't.
Really?
You
don't think getting beat up and kicked?
I don't. Maybe. Well, here's the thing. I'm the kind of guy that I would pull out a gun, but I wouldn't use it.
What if they take the gun from you?
Here's the thing. I'm very hesitant on the idea of killing someone.
You wouldn't kill them. Well, if they die, they die. It's their fault.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't like, because the thing is that murder is a serious thing. Like, death is a serious idea, and like I understand the theological question of it. Technically, it is self-defense. Technically,
because he was for that last guy. That's the one dude.
I'd even argue the second guy really didn't deserve it. Well, because think about it, the first guy, and also.
Are you talking about the guy who was holding him, or the guy who was
no.
punching
So
him?
like I'm talking about the second guy who gets shot.
Because
you got to remember, he shoots the first guy, and then second and third guy freak out and start running. Second guy gets shot pretty closely afterward. Third guy gets shot in the leg, and then there's the whole chase sequence.
Right.
So I think, if I had to argue, I'd say the first one maybe could have been counted as self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
We also have to think at that time, they were done harassing him. They were just laughing at him. And he was on the sub side of the car.
What point are we talking about now?
But when he shot them. Because you got to remember, they're just laughing at him. And they're no longer harassing him. And then he shoots them.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's tricky, because, like, if he just pulled out the gun and pointed at them, they would have stopped.
More than likely.
Because those guys weren't evil. They were rude, and they were buttholes, but, like, they weren't evil. Because what were they? They said they were, like...
They were upper class.
They were upper class. They were, like, Wall Street kind of guys. Yeah. And, like, that's the thing. Like, I don't believe Joker should be, Arthur Fleck should be justified in the killing of those three people.
The third guy, like I said, no. Definitely
third guy,
not.
definitely not. Like, there's no argument for that third guy. Like, but, like, he
I think if you're that... Well, to me, I think they are evil. Just because, like, going out of your way, just because the guy's laughing, to beat the guy up.
Oh, no, it's horrible what they
laugh.
did. It's horrible what they did. It's 100% horrible. Everyone in this movie is a horrible person. For the most part.
Right, yeah.
And that's sort of the point.
The
point is society's horrible.
Right.
And it created Joker.
Right, yeah.
That's sort of the message at the end of the movie, is that society is a horrible, disgusting thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it created this monster.
Right.
But then there's also the argument of what Murray said before he got shot, of, like...
Not everybody's a bad
Not
person.
everyone's evil. Not everyone's horrible.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I think it's also really interesting that a theological event like this happened in Gotham, because Gotham is such an evil city.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's always been like that.
Right.
Also, I'm gonna throw some hate. This is probably a reason why it's not as high. I'm tired that I had to watch Batman's parents die again.
Nah, dude, it's all good.
Dude, it was so funny. Like,
I thought at first I was like, oh, he's not gonna die. Oh, they're not gonna die because, like, you didn't see him till, like, the very end when I was like, oh no.
No, so, like, the thing is that it was so funny. They would, like, run down that alley, and I'm like, I swear on all my life. And I said this after seeing Batman v Superman. I'm like, if I have to watch Martha and Thomas Wayne die one more freaking time,
bang.
Well, and it's funny because, like, I'm not sure how familiar you are with Batman's parents' death has been redone 100,000 times, and it's always been this. Every single detail's the same.
Right.
It is Martha and Thomas with their son Bruce.
Right.
They leave a theater.
Right.
They go down crime alley. Well, a dark alley.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, in some renditions it's actually called Crime Alley. Mm-hmm. And it's like, why on earth would you go down crime alley? The mother is always wearing a pearl necklace.
Yep. Then it gets ripped off.
And it always gets ripped off, or in some instances shot off. Thank you, Batman v Superman. Because in Batman v Superman, do you remember
I didn't
how
watch
they did?
that.
So basically, he shoots the dad, and then he, like, puts the gun. This is when I knew this movie was gonna be bad. Puts the gun underneath the necklace and shoots the mom, so that the sort of
I don't.
the recoil and also the reloading of the gun, like the boom, whatever that's called.
Yeah.
Like not the recoil itself, but like the part of the gun that when it blasts back, it like that little like back by the hammer. Basically, that ends up and like the recoil itself ends up breaking the necklace, and it's like this slow-mo cinematic shot of like all the pearls going everywhere, and I'm like, and that's when I said, I'm like, if I have to watch these people die one more time, and then I'm like, and it was funny when she walked in that, I'm like, please don't tell me she's wearing pearls, please don't tell me she's wearing pearls, please don't tell me she's wearing pearls. And she turns and she has the pearl necklace, and I'm like, I swear, I thought they were gonna have Joker kill them.
I did too. You would think that'd be a more
fitting? I think that would be more fitting if they were to continue with this Joker as
I hope they do
the main Joker in their future films. But like apparently this is its own standalone thing. This
sucks.
It sucks. But the thing is, you have to realize once you start connecting other movies to it, you're bound to make worse movies if you don't have a plan.
Right.
Because you try to keep on building movies that have these connecting pieces to go out, but those connecting pieces suck. and like it's very rare. Like Marvel, it's funny, the more I've seen people try to do their own cinematic universes, the more I appreciate Marvel's. Because Marvel's, there are some really dumb things they do with their movies, and really dumb movies because of those connecting pieces, like Ant-Man and the Wasp. There's just like, because Ant-Man and the Wasp didn't need to exist.
Nope. Because that one character who could like turn invisible.
So like Ant-Man and the Wasp, all it did really was introduce Wasp as a character before Endgame,
right?
And then also it's just there to like I love Ant-Man as a character, and I love the first Ant-Man movie. I love the first Ant-Man movie. I don't think the second one's worth it.
No,
they could have done so much more and done so much better, and so like there are some flaws in the MCU, but like DC cinematic universe beforehand with like Aquaman, Justice League,
right,
Man of Steel, all that stuff, those movies were bad because they were just trying to connect all of them, and it just didn't work. And so that's why I like that this is its own little thing. And would I be fine if they brought Joaquin Phoenix's Joker in more stuff? I would, but like I don't know. I like the finality of just one. Like I like
one
this
and done.
one. Well, not even one. Like the story just feels complete, sort of. But
I feel like it'd be more complete if it kind of just like showed him going on being like crime, and then ended with like a picture of like Batman. You know,
but
like
here's the thing: how old will Batman be? Well, how old will Joaquin Phoenix be by the time? Because Batman, how old would you say he was in this movie?
He's probably like 10, 11,
I would
12.
I'd say no older than 11.
Yeah, he's not a teenager for sure.
No, he was definitely preteen, if not like I'd say my range would be 9 to 11. That sort of range. So think about it. Batman, let's say he picks up the cowl at like early 20s.
Okay.
Joker will be in his 40s by that point.
I think that's fine.
Well, actually, no. He'll be like mid to late 40s into his 50s.
That's fine.
I don't know.
I mean, he gets his goons to do all his work, though, doesn't he? He does like the occasional...
Depends on which version of the Joker you.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, because like there's so many different ones. Because like Heath Ledger's Joker was very much his own stuff. Like he did. It's like I'll do this, but then you have like the weird renditions of Joker, like Jared Leto's Joker group. That was a thing. But what? All right, question. What do you think the ending means? Like the last shot.
He killed that interview.
Well, no, but like
the running.
Well, like yeah. What do you think it all means? Because the thing is that they sort of hint at the fact that he killed the therapist.
Yeah, she's dead.
She's dead. But the thing is that you also remember we're dealing with a psychopath here. And like I know I haven't even looked at Reddit yet, but I know someone on Reddit's gonna say it was all in his head, and that ending scene is just him in the psych ward.
I wouldn't believe that for a second,
dude. I don't either, but like
someone's probably like, oh
you know that theory already exists.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a theory saying none of this happened, and it was all in his head, and he's a psych ward patient, which like, I mean, it's possible, but like, the only reason I don't believe that is there's such specific details in this story.
Yeah.
Like, for example, Bruce Wayne. I feel like,
his parents died. Like, how would they see that? How would he see that?
well, that doesn't surprise me. Just the fact that Bruce Wayne is there. Because think about it. If you hate the upper class, you'll know who both of them are. And it's like, and they die. And like, just in your imagination, they're like, and then they die. I don't think the son's like, the fact that he had Bruce there is, my mind is proving it to me that it's real. So, but like, it seems like he's getting chased by the orderlies just around the...
Yeah, he kills the guy.
It was hard to tell who was chasing who because of how the shot was framed.
I think he was getting chased.
But then was he chasing at the end? I couldn't tell the second time through.
He ran down the hall, right? He went right. And then he went left. And then he went right again because somebody was chasing him. And then he went left again because...
Well, no, he went right, then he went left because he got chased, I think. I think he was getting chased as soon as he went down the right path afterwards.
Okay, and then he went left.
And then
he came up first. That's what I remember.
See, I couldn't tell from the way that shot. First, a beautiful shot, by the way. Like, really cool shot. I just couldn't tell who anyone was. Because, like...
Yeah, they were kind of far away.
The final shot is, like, this really long hallway. And there's, like, a bright light, a bright window at the end of the hallway. So it's, like, this bright light and you can't see anything. And you just see silhouettes kind of Scooby-Doo their way through the frame.
Just kind of like...
And so, like... I'm curious, how did he kill the orderly? How did he kill the therapist? He had
handcuffs.
But
probably choked him out.
But blood. There was blood.
Yeah.
How much blood do you get from...
He definitely... Maybe they were struggling and he had to, like bang her head against the table.
Maybe. I don't... Like, that's the part that doesn't make sense to me. And, like, also, there was no blood anywhere else on him.
Yeah.
Just his feet. Which is weird. Which makes...
That'll get depicted later on.
I know.
The director's like, oh, this is what this means. It's
like,
oh,
because that's what I'm trying to figure... Because, like, he was in a white suit.
Mm-hmm.
And none of it was even drop of blood.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting, and I can't wait to, like...
At first, I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was stepping on feet that were already there.
That's you thought he was, like, stepping on footprints?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was, but I was like, wait a minute. These are too oddly specific and then really big at some parts. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, so, like, dude, it is... I really enjoyed the movie a lot. Like, freaking the midget dude.
That guy was great.
You and I didn't believe. I heard you, but I was with you. I didn't think that midget was making it out.
I was like, bro, no way.
It's like, there's no way.
Like, is he not gonna leave any witnesses? I think it's just, I like you.
Dude,
like, okay.
I love the moment, the silent, awkward moment when he's trying to reach up for the lock. He can't reach. He just has to go, Arthur.
He's like, what?
It's like, what? It's like, what? It's like, would you get the lock for me? It's just. And dude, I thought the movie, and this is what I thought, after his rehearsal on his couch, I thought this was how the movie was going to end, and I was also pumped for this ending, but I like the ending we got as well. I thought the knock-knock joke did on Murray, I thought he was going to shoot himself, and that was going to be the end. Like, because, you know, he, like, teased shooting himself and doing suicide sometimes. And then, like, he read the line, like, I hope my death makes more sense than my life.
Right.
And I'm like, boy, he about to shoot himself on live TV. And then he does, like, that dumb knock-knock joke. And it's like, oh. And then he shoots Murray in the face.
Yeah, I'm like, well.
This movie isn't as gory as I thought it would be. It's not as violent as I thought it would be. The only scene I think is really violent is when he kills the bigger clown dude, Dennis or Dale or whatever. That's the only scene I think is really violent. The other scenes are just like gunshot, blood, or blood splat. Which I was looking forward to this because I thought it was going to be like a hard R.
Yeah, they just
like,
did it because of the F-bombs and that's it.
Like, I thought it was going to be like messed up levels of gore and stuff like that.
You would think so,
but the thing is that
not.
Granted, it is an R-rated movie for sure. Not even with the F-bombs. Like, of course the F-bombs make it R, But like the movie itself is R, like it's content and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just not a hard R in my mind. And people freaking out saying this movie's like horrible and it's bad for kids' mental state. Nah,
It's not. It's why are kids watching it in the first place?
dude. Yeah.
That's my question.
Did you see that one thing on iFunny that was like the opening to Deadpool and it's like, hi.
Yes.
It's like, to all those kids out in the audience, why are you here?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I'm going to let you know. Do you want to know where babies come from? When a mommy and a daddy love. It's like,
Yeah.
shoves his... and just goes through everything. Also, Santa Claus is not real. Enjoy the movie.
Yep.
But that's Joker. Spoilers over. I'm just going to... Whoa. Wow.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to Scatterpot Podcast.
Episode 32.
Episode 30. Wait, did we even do a proper intro?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
You don't remember? We did.
Oh gosh.
I guess we'll go on to our next topic.
Yeah, we'll continue on like podcasts as usual. Minecraft updates. Minecon recently happened. They announced a bunch of updates. Nether's getting a big update. Underwater's getting a big update.
Oh, fantastic.
I can't remember what else they announced, but they showed more of that like live action AR game on your phone.
I have not seen
Minecraft World.
I've not seen that.
It was an app they showed at like I think it was at Apple's WWDC event back in April or something like that.
Okay.
And it was basically like AR Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
No, they showed it at E3. That's what it was. And it was like someone's phone. Like they held up their phone and there was like a brick house, like a nice house they built. But then like a creeper shows up and blows it up.
Oh, no.
They showed some more of that. And it's just like, it's basically AR technology Minecraft.
Okay.
Don't ask me any more details. That's all I know.
Okay.
I honestly, it's funny. I meant to look up more about that, but I've just been busy the last couple of days.
Right, yeah,
So let's get on to topics we do know more about.
Embarrassing pool.
This is my pool story I teased you with earlier this week.
Okay.
So, my church went to Dave & Buster's with a bunch of other churches for an all-nighter.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
We got there at 10 p.m. and we left at 6 a.m.
Right.
Also, Dave & Buster's is a killer place to have an all-nighter.
Of course. Yes.
Because they had movies playing. Bowling alley was free. Sodas were free. Most of the non-prize arcade games were free. They just want to give you tickets for it.
Right.
And then if you wanted to win tickets, you could, of course, get a prepaid card and just swipe it and all that. Yeah, all that fun stuff. But what happened is an unofficial but sort of official pool tournament started up.
Mm-hmm.
And this was back when I was good at pool. Do you remember that spring break when all you and me did was play pool in that log cabin?
That's great.
Also, like, watch Family Guy and chill in that hot tub that was outside in, like, the cold mountain air.
Yes.
That was really nice.
And I got sick.
Yes, you did get sick. You got sick, like, day 2.
That was AIDS.
Dude, that was a fun trip, though. I enjoyed that. We had the master bedroom suite for a grand total of 1 day.
Yeah.
Then we got kicked out.
To the couch.
To the couches in the living room. But you and I played pool. So, like, it's around that time frame, so I'm good at pool.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my friend were playing for, like, I think the whole tournament took about an hour and a half.
Pretty short.
I mean, there were, like, 8 tables.
Oh.
So, like, there were games going on, like, at every moment. And it was just like, all right, you guys take this table. So we're like, we're going at it. We're winning. Me and my friend, championship game, final game. We're doing duos, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's me and my friend, and it's the final game. We were solids.
Mm-hmm.
The other team was stripes.
Mm-hmm.
We are sinking them left and right, left and right.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my friend every time, I'm like, dude, it's like we have a good pet system here, and I'm like, I choke on the 8 ball. That's the thing for me in pool. I choke on the 8 ball almost always.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told him, I'm like, dude, as long as we never land on the 8 ball on me, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, championship game, we're down to only the 8 ball, and we're playing. You have to call the pocket.
Right. Exactly.
So here's the shot. Pocket. 8 ball. Cue ball.
Mm-hmm.
Easiest shot on the flippin' planet.
Yeah.
Actually, no. It was pocket 8 ball, cue ball. Like, cue ball is right
Basically, yeah, right there. Yeah.
Basically the easy shot on the play. Hardest shot to mess up.
Right.
I'm freaking out because I'm like, I have to put some spin on this ball because I can't let the cue ball sink in because then we lose. I'm like, you can't get a scratch on the 8 ball. It's like, oh gosh, and I'm like freaking out, and I'm like, he's like, and my buddy Carson is like, Kane, you're gonna be good, and I'm like, yeah, I got it. I'm like, easy shot. I lean over the table, and I'm lining it up. I want you to guess how I screwed this up. I want you to guess.
You hit it in a different pocket.
No.
Then there's, I don't know, another embarrassing way to do it.
Oh, there is one way. Keep in mind, everyone who participated in the tournament is just watching this, and they're like, GG, game over.
Sure.
And then like some people are saying he's gonna choke, and I'm like laughing about it, but I'm like, I hit the ball. I hit the bottom of the cue ball. It skips over the 8 ball and right into the pocket. I jumped the cue ball, which is a cool tactic you can do in pool.
And they got a free positioning. And
free positioning, ending game, GG. I've never choked hard. I just remember.
You threw the game, dude.
Dude, I just like, I was like so freaked out, and I was also like stretched pretty far. That's my reason I went low. I was like trying to aim and just like hit it, and it went over, and my partner was just like,
right.
He's like, how on earth did you just do that? And I'm like, on the bright side, I now know I can jump the cue ball. I didn't know I could do that before.
Always gotta look at the positives.
Always look at the positives. So, I suck at pool. I choke on the 8 ball. Speaking of sucking at things, my body's aging. Huber and I were in the library. I bent over to grab my charger, and like my whole body snapped.
Yeah.
Huber heard it through his AirPods. Just every bone in my body just go.
All of them at the same time just popped.
Like my toes, my knees, my ankles, my back, my neck.
I guess we just go on to the next one.
Let's go to the one below that so you get a chance to talk.
There's not really much to talk about. I haven't played too much. But Destiny 2 became free recently. If you don't have it...
On Steam, too.
On Steam, yes. If you don't have it or have never played it, I would go ahead and download it. I mean, it's going to be free forever, so it doesn't matter, actually, when you get it.
Yeah.
But it comes with all the DLC.
Except the
2 newest ones they released recently.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty fun from what I've played, but it seems like a super grindy game. Like, super grindy game.
So... I can't speak much for Destiny 2, but for Destiny 1, apparently this was patched.
I didn't even touch the table.
I don't know. And you knocked your camera down a bit.
Fantastic.
How many camera angles can Kanan and Huber come up with in one episode?
Sit there for 5 more minutes, please.
Dude, it's going to be like 10, you know it.
Don't even touch the table.
Dude, I'm typing like an old lady. I'm like pecking the keyboard. But basically, as someone who played Destiny 1 was a very fun game until like you hit the grind wall. And this is what I mean by the grind wall. So you leveled up normally,
right?
But then you hit light level, and this is Destiny 1 before Taken King. So all of you diehard Destiny fans are like, they fixed it. I'm sorry, it lost me by this point.
Right.
You basically eventually hit this point where your level is based on the armor you have.
Right.
And it's called your light level. And you'd grind the same mission for 3 hours for a drop that would get you a key to unlock a loot box.
Right.
Well, no, it was like an encrypted... All the weapons and... Well, all the major armor pieces were encrypted, and you had to get, like, encryption keys and stuff like that. So, like... You get the key, and then if you were lucky, you got the core. And with the core fragment, you could upgrade it and then go into this battle arena. And after you do all this grinding, you increased your light level by a grand total of... 1. And
that sucks.
It was a grind to reach 342. I think that was the light level at the time. Like 342. But you got to realize, your light level... You hit the light level at around like 250 or something like that. So you just grind it and grind. I think I got to like 296, and I was like, I'm done.
No more. Yeah.
I'm done. Like, this is no longer fun for me.
Right.
Because I just grinded and grinded and grinded. And apparently it's not it's better, but it's like not too much better because you still have to grind the same missions over and over again. And that was what truly pissed me off. Was like playing the same mission, the same raids, the same boss rushes, all over again.
Yeah, over and over.
Over and over and over and over and over again, until you finally got the armor piece that you've been looking for the last 10 hours. I think I clocked nearly over 400 hours in that game, and I was just like, I'm done.
Noah apparently clocked 2,000.
Dude, no, I know it. Me and Noah played together until eventually... No, we didn't play together. He was on PS3 at the time. We talked about playing.
Right.
Like, we always talked about playing, and like there was a point where I was just like, I'm done.
Right. Yeah.
I had more fun creating a new character and
then
doing the fun part of the game,
right.
where you were doing missions and doing the story missions. And so I'm excited to play Destiny 2, but I'm definitely... Like, Noah's going to play this for a while, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah. He says he's going to buy the DLC. He said he's giving it about 2 weeks, and if he's still playing the game, he's going to buy the DLC, and if that's the case, then...
He's gone.
He's gone.
Then we'll never see him. Dude, it's going to be like Monster Hunter World for him.
Dude, I don't know how you play that so much.
Dude, me neither.
Like
You got it on PC. So, wait, let's quick aside from all of our things on the board.
This will be a quick
let's talk about... I loved Monster Hunter World. I loved it. It was really fun. But...
Like,
I'll let
just
you...
the same monsters.
Yes. No, Hubert.
Like, harder.
That is Destiny 2. Well, that's Destiny.
It's just like, that's not entertaining. That's just literally lazy game making.
But Hubert, no, that's what Destiny. You grind the same things over and over and over and over again to get an armor piece or get the pieces to make an armor that increases your total stat boost by like 1 or 2 points in a specific category. Gosh, it's just it's upsetting. It really, I loved it. And Noah Davis and I had a blast playing together.
Right. Yeah.
But I just couldn't. I just it didn't catch me. Like once I finished like the main story stuff.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, cool. I was done. Like, but I had it like, and that's the thing. I'm more of a single player kind of guy. I'm a guy that as long as there's something for me to do, I'll do it.
Right.
As soon as you like are stretching it and asking me to do the same things over and over again,
So for example.
Okay.
Not that last part you just said, but the single player.
Cube World?
Yes.
Cube World's actually multiplayer as well.
It's Minecraft.
Oh gosh. Speaking of horrible game design, Cube World beta release. Well, Cube World's official release or whatever. I think it's beta. Golly, did he screw it up?
Did he actually?
Really, I'm not even joking.
That sucks.
People are outraged on the forums. It is ridiculous. I had no idea. I downloaded it. I started playing it, and I'm like, this doesn't feel right. It's just broken. Everything that was... Alright, so did you ever play the original Cube World Alpha?
No.
Original Cube World Alpha. You start off with nothing but your primary weapon that has a primary attack and a secondary attack.
Mm-hmm.
What you do, it's a typical MMO. You fight monsters, you gain XP, you get stronger. You have an upgrade tree that eventually allows you to upgrade, get a hang glider, a boat, the ability to climb up surfaces.
Right.
You get special abilities. You can learn all these things, and it was like a progression system, and the whole world scaled. So, for example, when you got stronger, the enemies got stronger.
Right.
But one thing that was important, any monster, no matter how strong they were, you could beat them with pure skill.
Okay.
Like it was a very skill-oriented game. All the game was missing was proper quests. Pretty much proper quests.
Okay.
Because like the thing is all you do is you run around, you kill monster, you talk to NPCs, buy stuff, do a dungeon run.
Right.
Now,
what did he screw up?
Everything I just told you, pretty much.
He reverted it in terms as you're saying he screwed it up, or he just didn't.
He
kept keep it in there.
He reverted most of it. Let me explain. You start off with nothing on your... First off, allegedly, I can't speak for sure, but apparently the map is no longer randomly generated.
Okay.
Apparently, it's like a fixed map,
Okay.
which sucks for a game like this.
Right.
You start off with all your abilities.
Mm-hmm.
You start off with your primary weapon. You basically start off maxed out, except you don't have your hang glider, you don't have your boat, and you don't have like something to make you climb a little higher than usual. But you're pretty much fully decked out from the beginning. Every monster can one-tap you almost.
Nice.
No, like for example, if you see, this is how the grinding system works. Instead of leveling up, there's no levels, by the way. No levels. The way you level up, well, the only way to get better is by killing the few monsters you have the strength to beat.
Mm-hmm.
By outsmarting them or cheesing their AI somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And then hoping, not only that they draw up a weapon, but that they drop a strong weapon that fits your class type. Because they can drop random weapons for other classes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you do this for seemingly ever. I couldn't legit the way I beat the strongest monster on my save. Like I beat a level 2 monster, a rank 2, and keep in mind there's 5 ranks.
Okay.
I beat a level 2 monster only because there was a party of orcs that came by that had way more powerful weapons than me, and they killed it. And like, and legit, and if you come across a mage character that was a villain, you're dead because they have a laser beam that tracks you and basically deals your health bar of damage in 5 seconds. The game is stupidly hard. Dungeons still exist. Quests don't properly exist, but they sort of do. If you talk to NPCs enough, some things will pop up on the map and there are things you can do, but there's no like proper quest like like there's no Legend of Zelda style quest where it's like, oh,
right, yeah.
Like I'm so and so of the so and so kingdom. Will you please check on my daughter for me or something like that? All the quests are like, there's an elf over here. And then and of course you unlock all your stuff and you grind and you grind. And if you do a dungeon run and if you beat the final boss, you get an artifact. Artifact boosts your stats minimalistic, like by 1 or 2. Like your base stats of speed or like a damage and stuff like that. Do you want to know what the worst thing they screwed up on is? They region locked everything. And not region locked, I mean limited it to certain regions can play it. There are certain regions on the map, and once you cross that line, you lose everything except your artifacts. You start back from scratch. You lose your hang glider, you lose your boat, you lose your stepping
But if you go back in there, do you get them?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
But it's...
I can understand like why that's annoying.
Well, because the thing is that you're in this huge map.
Right, yeah.
And you're limited to one area, but once you defeat that area, you're going to have to start all over again in a new region.
Right.
And technically you have all that stuff. It's just... its buffs and abilities go down to basically nothing. Like, it's no better than your primary stuff. And there are very rare items that allow you to carry them between regions, but only about one region away. If you go to a second region further than that, then those items are useless. It's a really dumb system he came up with.
Well, he done goofed, man.
He done goofed real bad. And I'm still saying buy it, because I'm hoping he fixes it. Because he's been really good about keeping up with the community, but everyone's just like, dude.
He done goofed.
Because when they gave it like a beta, an early release beta week for those who bought the game originally.
Right.
And apparently during that he was patching it every day with bug glitches. But like, so I'm assuming he's definitely thinking of ways to fix this. But it's just not fun. It's not fun.
Right.
I mean, even I don't know.
Not
we did a fun project earlier this week. Yes. Video will be out. I'm not going to say soon, because by the time this episode comes out, we're not even going to be done filming it. My dad's birthday's not till Tuesday.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And then also, I don't want to do it today, so we'll do it later. We'll do it next time you're over. We can record that explanation clip.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's a thing. Yeah, but one last topic that I didn't put on the board that's basically just for me. Me and Noah Davis and my brother are like the 3 people who are excited. So the new My Hero Academia fighting game. EU. So they announced a sequel recently. And as I told you, they showed off Deku and like the main villain of season 4.
Right.
Dude, literally today they released a trailer that showed off a bunch of character gameplay for a bunch of different characters, and they revealed a bunch of characters. First off, Big 3 from season 3, they're in the game. Mineta, the purple ballhead kid, he's in the game. Amina Acido, the pink girl, she's in the game. A bunch of other characters they showed off. Overhaul, of course. I'm excited. I'm really excited for this game. I'm probably the only one excited for this game, honestly.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Gosh.
Enjoy that.
We're slowly approaching midnight. We're gonna cut this episode off. Huber, fun fact for the week.
You don't start dying until you're like 26. I believe that's the age.
Dang.
Your body replenishes itself quickly enough, but around that point, it's where your body like can't replace as quickly as it used to. So that's why you kind of start getting tired. So yeah, that's the
fun fact. That's what a thought you dropped on this. Well,
yes.
As always, Scatterpot Podcast. You can find that.
Yes.
You can use that to find us all around. On like
everything, literally
everything. Instagram, you can find us at Scatterpot_podcast, and YouTube is the Scatterpot Podcast. This has been a interesting episode.
Better than last week's.
I've been Kanan,
and I have been the David, and thank you for watching this episode
or listening to
the very end. Thank you.